Hello my beautiful people. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is Woven here. You guys, I am sitting mukuru wanjenu. So hi you guys, welcome back to our channel. It is Woven here. If you are new to this channel, you're most welcome, and if you are not, thank you very much family for returning. So I am sitting, the background is slightly different, but I am sitting in the playground of our new place, right in the new complex. As the title would have it, I said I'm downgrading. So about a year ago, you guys would have seen that I made an apartment tour where I was staying in my luxury apartment in CBD, right in CBD, and that costed me about 14,000 in total, including utilities. And I have made a decision to downgrade, to move to a much more affordable place. Now this is going to be a sit down. I want us to have to just sit down and talk and take you guys along this journey as to why I am downgrading. Now you guys would have seen around the world there's so much happening. Right after COVID, we got into the Russia-Ukraine war, and we just don't know, we don't know what awaits us in the future. And for me personally, I just thought it's best to be prepared for the worst. So I then decided that I am going to downgrade my lifestyle. Number one, by moving to a more affordable apartment, because that would just make financial sense. Now I'm going to share with you guys why I downgraded. I'm also going to share with you guys, so if you do hear cars, they just I'm right next to the gate into the complex. So I'm also going to share with you guys a few tips on how to just make better financial decisions, where you can downgrade and save a bit of coin. Now, why am I downgrading? I had to sit myself down. When it comes to personal finances, one needs to sit themselves down, and I found myself in that position where I had to sit myself down and be honest with myself. I evaluated what are my priorities. Of course, a roof over my head is a priority, but I looked at safety, I looked at affordability, and I made a decision to downgrade my lifestyle. And for me, there's no shame in downgrading, guys. If you've been thinking about it, if you've been thinking about moving back home, or one of those things that look like a downgrade, I think now would probably be the best time to do it. Especially for me, I thought now is the best time to do it, because when I looked at my finances, it just didn't make financial sense for me to be in CBD with the cost of with inflation rising, with the cost of living increasing. You guys would have seen petrol prices have been going up, interest rates have been madness. I think every other day the Bank of Namibia announces a repo increment, and repo increases affect our prime rate, the mortgage rate, and overall just inflation. So because of those reasons, I then decided I am downgrading. Maybe let me just show you. This is in my new complex. So what did I look at? Number one, I looked at affordability. So in my old apartment, that was $14,000 including utilities. In this new apartment, I looked at safety. You guys, there's security here. It's very quiet. It's family friendly. Like I said, I'm in the garden. There's a park, not a garden, but it's like a kiddies park. And I think, in fact, I would still consider it an upgrade, but with a less financial strain. So have any of you guys ever thought of downgrading and the thought just seemed daunting? Many of the reasons why we fall behind financially is because of lifestyle inflation, lifestyle creep, where when you probably have a little bit more money, you just keep on building onto your expenses, where at some point in time your wants start looking like needs. And I think I found myself at that point where a luxury apartment in CBD then became like a need, and I realized it's not worth it, and to a certain extent you feel like you want to be seen. And there's a lot of psychology also around our decisions when we're making financial decisions. a lot of our childhood informs our financial decisions. Growing up informs how we make financial decisions, and I think a lot of those things I took into consideration. So yeah, I made a decision to downgrade my lifestyle. It suits me. And often we get in the trap of keeping up with the Joneses, keeping up with your friends next door, keeping up with your age mates. May we be freed from the spirit of what are my age mates doing. And a lot of us find ourselves in that circle where you see, oh, Woven is ABCD, I should also be there. And we end up making very poor financial decisions just to sort of look like we are on par. But honestly, guys, we come from different backgrounds. We have different responsibilities, we have different earnings, we have different priorities. And there's someone calling me. And we have different priorities. So really, like I said, and if you'd like, sit yourself down, analyze yourself, because we really, really need to prepare ourselves for what lies ahead. We don't know what that Putin is going to do next. We don't know, what the leaders are going to do next. So I thought it's best to prepare myself for the worst. So I moved. So how much is my apartment? I would like to give you guys an apartment tour. So I'll also tell you how much the apartment is, but it's such a huge saving. And in fact, I think I'm going to be better off just in terms of the area. So I moved to Eros. Most of the embassies are here. It's a bit safe, or at least in Ludwigsdorf. No, but the embassies, I know a lot of embassies are just down the road. So when it comes to safety, I think I'm pretty much okay. Right, so that is me. I have decided to downgrade. There is no shame in downgrading, guys. Everybody has different priorities, and if you've been thinking about it, I think now is really the time to make that decision. For me, it just didn't make any financial sense at all for me to still be staying in CBD. I needed to just maybe save a little bit more than spending. So that is what I am doing. Now, there are various ways you can downgrade without necessarily putting a strain on yourself, or without necessarily being unhappy, because I think we attach a lot of value to a lot of things that don't really matter. But then again, that's subjective. So what are some of the things that you can do in terms of downgrading to save you a little bit of money, to cushion up, to make sure that your emergency fund is intact, to make sure that you're saving much more than you're spending? What are those things? Number one, if you have a spouse or a partner, you guys say, for instance, you both have cars or luxury cars, perhaps you can then decide to keep one of the cars and downgrade to a more cost-effective, fuel-efficient car. That is one way to downgrade, but you can still be mobile. And then if you live on your own, right, you can then consider renting or staying with somebody else. Rent out the other room in your house. Of course, it will be a little bit uncomfortable, but there's going to be joy, and there's going to be a benefit in terms of the cost saving, and possibly you saving and investing that money, or maybe paying it down towards your bond. It's financial relief, even if it's just for 6 months, for 12 months, because it's temporary and the person can move out. And then the other way is possibly to, if especially the young people, if you are in your 20s, you value your freedom, but maybe just take one step back, and if possible, try and move in, or try and move back home if you've moved out already, and move in with your parents. Like me personally, guys, as you see me here, I have lived in my mom's house for as long as I can remember. The first time I moved out of mommy's nest was when I moved to my apartment. The other times I was just like, thank you, Lord, you have given me a mom with property in Windhoek, and that is where I'm going to stay. So my siblings and I stayed at home, and it made financial sense for us, and it was quite beneficial. So if you are in a fortunate position where your parents have a house in Windhoek or wherever you stay in the city, and you can still go to work, then consider moving back home, at least 6 to 12 months. It won't hurt. and you get to spend time with family. And then in terms of shopping, instead of impulsive shopping or buying as and when, try and buy in bulk. Bulk items are usually good value, or try to find sales items. Try to find sales items in shops. Like, I know Discam always has 2 for 3 or buy 2 at a reduced price. That is when I buy, especially my cosmetics. That's when I buy my cosmetics. Now, another way you can actually downgrade is try and carpool with somebody else. Even if you have a car, try and start carpooling with someone else to work, where you can just put in a little bit of fuel into their car, or agree on a reasonable price to pay. That way you also don't rack up mileage. Guys, petrol is expensive, so you would essentially be saving. So where was I again? If you guys have 2 cars at home, essentially even just consider giving up the 1 car entirely, because guys, you would have seen when we started this year, repo rate was at about 4%, and then I blinked one day and it was a 6.8, and it just keeps increasing. At some point I could fuel up my car at 1,000 Namibian dollars. Right now, at the beginning of the year, I was fueling up at 1,000 Namibian dollars. Right now I fuel up at 1,600. It's just crazy. So that means if you have a bond, your monthly installment would have gone up. With costs, your monthly installment would have gone up. So if you can really consider downgrading. There's no shame in it. There is no shame in downgrading. It basically just means you are taking charge. You are in control, and you're not letting external factors influence you into taking on or biting on more than you can chew, or biting off more than you can chew. So give up a car. Guys, another one, consider cooking your meals at home. So instead of buying every day at the staff canteen, at least cook 3 times. Even if it's twice and then you do pre-packaging, do that. It saves you. In the beginning it looks like it's a little bit of money, but when you add it up, it really saves you a bit of money. So that's my downgrade story. Are you thinking of downgrading your lifestyle and you don't know how to go about it? This is a call for you to probably do that and do this for yourself. All right, so on my next video I will show you guys our new apartment, how much it costs. I love it. It's cozy, but I love this neighborhood, or this complex that is essentially it's townhouses and apartments, but it's very nice and peaceful and quiet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you learned one thing or two. Remember to build up that emergency fund. From me, Woven, I will see you guys next time.